Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's lesson on understanding and using a multimeter. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to brush up on your skills, this video will guide you through the essentials of using a multimeter effectively. We'll start by discussing what a multimeter is, explore the different types, and then dive into the detailed parts of an analog multimeter. Finally, we'll cover the important steps you need to take before using an analog multimeter to ensure safety and accuracy. So, let's get started. First things first, let's talk about what a multimeter is. A multimeter, also known as a volt-to-milliammeter or VOM, is a versatile measuring instrument used to measure various electrical properties. With a typical multimeter, you can measure voltage, resistance, and current. In other words, it can function as a voltmeter, ohmmeter, and ammeter, making it an essential tool for anyone working with electronics. Now that we understand what a multimeter is, let's look at the two main types of multimeters you'll encounter. First up, we have analog multimeters. These devices display readings using a moving needle that moves across a printed scale. It's a bit old school, but some people still prefer them for certain tasks. One of the benefits of analog multimeters is that they don't require a battery for basic functions, like measuring voltage or current, which is pretty handy. The gradual movement of the needle can also help in observing trends in the readings. However, there are a few downsides. They tend to be less accurate than digital models, and if you're not familiar with reading the scale, it can be a bit tricky. Plus, the moving parts inside can be more susceptible to damage. On the other hand, we have digital multimeters, or DMMs. These are the more modern devices that display measurements numerically on an LCD screen, making them much easier to read, especially in low-light conditions. Digital multimeters are generally more accurate and precise, which is why they're so popular today. They often come with additional features like auto-ranging, data hold, and built-in testing modes like continuity and diode checks. The main downside: they require a battery to operate, and they can be a bit more expensive than their analog counterparts. Now that we know the differences between analog and digital multimeters, let's focus on the detailed parts of an analog multimeter and how each part plays a role in taking accurate measurements. An analog multimeter has several key components that you should be familiar with. The display scale is where you'll see the needle move as you take measurements. It's a critical part of the analog multimeter, and it consists of several overlapping scales, each representing different measurements like voltage, current, or resistance. To help you take accurate readings, many analog multimeters include a mirror strip along the scale. This strip helps reduce parallax error, which happens when you read the needle from an angle. By aligning the needle with its reflection, you can ensure that you're getting an accurate reading. The needle, or pointer, is the thin metal rod that moves across the scale in response to the measurement you're taking. It's essential to watch the needle carefully to ensure accurate readings. The zero position adjuster is a small knob or dial that allows you to set the needle to zero position when no measurement is being taken. This is important because, over time, the needle might shift slightly due to handling or environmental factors. Regularly adjusting the zero position ensures that your multimeter is providing accurate readings. The zero ohm adjuster is used when measuring resistance. After you short the probes together, the needle should point to 0 on the ohm scale. If it doesn't, you can use the 0 ohm adjuster to correct the reading. Selector knob. The selector knob is used to choose the type of measurement you want to take, whether it's voltage, current, or resistance. It also lets you select the appropriate range for your measurement. For instance, if you're unsure of the exact value you're measuring, it's best to start with a higher range and then move to a lower range for a more precise reading. Finally, the test leads, or probes, are what you'll use to connect the multimeter to the circuit you're testing. Analog multimeters typically come with a black lead and a red lead, both insulated with durable rubber for safety. Before you start measuring with an analog multimeter, there are a few important steps you need to take to ensure everything is working properly and safely. Preparation is key to getting accurate readings and keeping both you and your equipment safe. Here's what you should do before taking any measurements with an analog multimeter. Start by giving your multimeter a quick visual inspection. Check for any visible damage, like a cracked casing, damaged probes, or a loose needle. If you find any damage, it's best not to use the multimeter until it's repaired or replaced. Also, inspect the probes to make sure there are no exposed wires or broken insulation, as this could lead to inaccurate readings or even short circuits. Next, check the battery. A low or dead battery can affect the accuracy of your readings, especially when measuring resistance. If your multimeter has a battery test function, use it to check the battery level. If the battery is low, replace it before taking any measurements. Setting the zero position for resistance measurement. Alright, let's get hands-on and set the zero position for resistance measurement, also known as the zero ohm adjustment. This is a key step to ensure your readings are accurate when measuring resistance. I'll walk you through the process step by step. Step 1. Switch to resistance mode. First, we need to switch the multimeter to resistance mode, which is usually marked with an omega symbol. Turn the range selector to one of the resistance settings. This prepares your multimeter to measure resistance in the circuit. Next, take the red and black probes and touch them together. What we're doing here is creating a short circuit, which should ideally read as 0 ohms on the meter. This is important because if your meter isn't showing 0, your resistance measurements won't be accurate. Finally, use the zero position adjuster, which is typically a small dial on the multimeter, to move the needle to the 0 mark on the ohm scale. This adjustment is crucial. If the needle doesn't reach 0, it could mean the battery is weak or there might be an issue with the meter. Make sure it's calibrated correctly before proceeding. Now that we've set the zero position for resistance, let's move on to verifying the 0 point on the voltage or current scale. This step is just as important to ensure your measurements are starting from the correct baseline. First things first, turn off the multimeter. You always want to make sure the device is off when you're making adjustments. Next, take a look at the needle. Before you start measuring voltage or current, check that the needle rests at 0 on the respective scale. Make sure that the probes aren't connected to anything during this step. This will give you a true baseline. Step 3. Adjust if necessary. If the needle isn't sitting at 0, you'll need to make an adjustment. Use the zero adjuster, if your multimeter has one, to calibrate the needle to 0. This adjustment is vital because starting from an accurate baseline ensures that all subsequent measurements are correct. Great job following along so far. Now, let's take a moment to review what we've learned with a quick self-check. I'll read out a few questions, and I want you to think about the correct answer before I reveal it. This will help reinforce the key concepts we've covered today. 1. Which of the following is a primary difference between analog and digital multimeters? A. Analog multimeters are more accurate than digital multimeters. B. Analog multimeters require a battery for all functions, while digital ones do not. C. Digital multimeters display measurements numerically, while analog multimeters use a needle to indicate readings. D. Digital multimeters are more difficult to read in low light conditions. The correct answer is C. Digital multimeters display measurements numerically, while analog multimeters use a needle to indicate readings. This is one of the key differences that make digital multimeters easier to use, especially for beginners. Now that we've reviewed the difference between analog and digital multimeters, let's move on to our next question. What is the purpose of the zero position adjuster in an analog multimeter? A. To select the type of measurement. B. To adjust the meter for accurate resistance measurements. C. To measure the voltage of a circuit. D. To check the condition of the probes. The correct answer is B. The zero position adjuster is used to ensure the meter gives accurate resistance measurements by setting the needle to the correct starting position. Let's keep going with our third question, which focuses on the advantages of digital multimeters. Which of the following is not an advantage of using a digital multimeter? A. Higher accuracy and precision. B. Requires no battery for basic functions. C. Easier to read, especially in low light conditions. D. Includes additional features like auto-ranging and data hold. The correct answer is B. Unlike analog multimeters, digital multimeters do require a battery to operate, even for basic functions. This is a small trade-off for their accuracy and ease of use. Next, we'll discuss the steps you should take before measuring with an analog multimeter. What should you do before measuring with an analog multimeter? A. Set the 0 position for voltage measurement. B. Replace the test leads with new ones. C. Ensure the multimeter's battery is healthy. D. Start with the lowest range on the selector knob. The correct answer is C. Ensuring the multimeter's battery is healthy is crucial, especially when measuring resistance. A low battery can affect the accuracy of your readings. Finally, let's talk about the mirror strip on an analog multimeter and its purpose. Why is the mirror strip included on the display scale of an analog multimeter? A. To enhance the aesthetic appearance of the device. B. To help reduce parallax error when reading measurements. C. To serve as a backup in case the needle breaks. D. To assist in selecting the correct measurement range. The correct answer is B. The mirror strip is there to help reduce parallax error, ensuring that you get an accurate reading by aligning the needle with its reflection. That wraps up our self-check. If you got most of the answers right, you're well on your way to mastering the use of a multimeter. If not, don't worry, practice makes perfect. Feel free to go back and review any sections you're unsure about. Thanks for participating, and I'll see you in the next lesson.